We are good to go. Welcome to the Monday Show, friends. 48. I'm your host, Wes, and with me, as always, my good friend, Roots. Roots, it's Monday. I love Monday. It's my favorite day of the week. How's your Monday going?
Oh, good, man. We have all sorts of technical issues. My mic boom arm literally, sorry, I can't stand that static from my fan. My mic literally, the arm is just like about to fall apart, and this is the only way I could finagle it. So I gotta have to have it in my face. You guys get to see it on its last leg before it goes in the trash. This piece right here is stripped, and you can see it is not holding jack crap. And
Hey, we said it yesterday, man. Duct tape that bitch.
yeah, actually, you know what? If I had thought about it, I would have done that because I could have maybe finagled it and really taped it up in the right position. So
Yeah, it looks good, man. It don't look bad. It looks like what most other guys have going on with their mic situations.
yeah, I just don't like it up in my face, half the screen taken. But it is what it is, and it's Monday, and yeah.
You know who loves having it all up in their face?
My mom!
I heard that
That's
too.
right. Indeed. She loves it.
Oh God.
Anyway, it is Monday, friends. It is the Monday Show, and it's a very special Monday show. Isn't that right, Roots?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. For finally, Cyion got his itch to be scratched, which was nice.
Right. Right. We finally went in and checked out Into the Radius again, might I add, for the third time. And we'll talk about that a bit in a moment. But we're not just going to talk about what we thought of Into the Radius, but we're going to give away some keys, Roots, due to the generosity of our good friend Cyion VR. We got 3 keys to Into the Radius to give away to these good people.
Yeah, I forgot about the keys. That's cool. You guys are in for a treat. I spent 2 days streaming that, and it's pretty creepy, Wes.
It is pretty creepy, actually. And, first of all, right off the top, big thank you to Cyion, not only for insisting that we go back in and play this one again, but for providing these keys for us to give away. You guys, Cyion, we're going to give you the basic things that you need to know about Into the Radius, but Cyion, he's the master, right? He's the one who's put in the hours. He's the one who has made the videos. What, something like 20 videos he's made now, Roots?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the video footage I'm going to be using is his. And what's funny is he was my guide, my guided tour. Now, Jim Hall didn't think I needed a tour guide to go through, but because I made the point while I was streaming, I was like, well, Cyion's trying to make me use the map. And I'm like, dude, I got the tour guide. Why am I wasting time looking at the stupid map? Just tell me where to go. Yeah, so he helped me, got in Discord and kind of gave me some hints and guided me along. Now, this could be my shameful moment, Wes, because he was asking me before the show, I wonder if Wes got further than you did. And then he gave me the winky face. I'm not sure what that means. No?
For all of your information, I actually had some things pop up, and I didn't get to put quite as much time into it as I wanted to. I did not make it as far as you did, but I did make it further than I have made it the prior 2 times that I've tried playing this game. I've made it far enough to have a very good idea of what's going on here with this. And it Roots, it's funny when you talk about how willing Cyion is to help when you're playing this. I wasn't in this thing 10 minutes, and then Cyion's popping up in Discord here giving me pro tips. Like, thanks, dude. Like he's been watching,
Did he? Well, see, that was what was kind of cool about the whole thing is he could watch me, although he was telling me because there's a delay and he'd be telling me stuff. And then I'm already dead. Things are attacking me,
Right. No, Cyion's been really cool. He's been preaching the gospel when it comes to this game for quite some time. And again, he's done a great series of videos. If after our discussion you want to put eyes on the video, you want to see more of the game, you can look right down in the description below. I've got Cyion's channel linked down there. And I'm not even know if does he even have anything else on his channel other than Into the Radius?
No, I think it's Into the Radius channel at the moment, but I think it was like his first foray. He's putting out all these videos. You might as well keep going, bud. I think he's got just below what I got on my YouTube channel. So, of course, I haven't been doing content for a while, but
cranking out the content like I did when I first started on the Lethal Weasel channel, putting out videos every day back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, he's got hours and hours of Into the Radius on there.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess we're going into, I might as well pull his footage up. We might as well go into it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start by talking about Into the Radius. And with regards to the giveaway, I think what we're going to do is we're going to give away 1 in the chat, 2 in the comments below. So those who are not here, those who are watching this as a replay, you too have a chance to win this game. I think we'll run the giveaway through Sunday. So you'll have about 6, maybe 7 days to enter this thing, and then we'll announce the winner next Monday. And all you have to do to enter through the comments is the usual, right? 2 things to enter the contest. 1, make sure that you are subscribed to Virtual Strangers. 2, just leave a comment saying that you'd like to enter. I would like to enter the Into the Radius giveaway, and we will assign you a number, and next Sunday we will choose 2 of these numbers, and we will announce the winners next Monday on the Monday show.
Yeah, and if you don't win it, well, I guess there's 2 things to remember. If you have Viveport, you don't need to win it because you already have it, but you can if you want to try to actually own it. And if you don't get it, there's always Viveport. You can play it for free if you already have the subscription anyway.
Cyion says he has a Kona video too.
Yeah.
So he's been playing Kona VR as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with Delirium Drew. He says 2 dudes talking about VR. It's his kind of show. It's my kind of show as well. Especially this one. This is my kind of show.
Yeah, so, it's literally my show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's how you win in the comments. Be subscribed. Say you'd like to enter. 1 week from tonight, we will announce the winners. Now, as for the chat, we're going to wait a few minutes here. We're going to talk a little bit about the game. I'm going to throw a trivia question out there, something really easy. It's not even about the trivia. It's about doing something other than throwing keys into the chat. So I'm just going to ask a question. The first one to answer the question wins the key. Bada boom, bada bing. You're the proud new owner of Into the Radius. Congratulations.
Yeah. And what we can do for the I guess you already said on Sunday we're going to do it. So we're going to announce those live on air, right? And pick them on air from the chat.
We could do that. Yeah. I was going to announce them on Monday, but we could just pick the winners live on air.
Yeah. So that's what's the beauty of doing live, right?
So just to be clear, we're going to announce them on the Monday show. We're going to pick them on the Monday show. We will take entries through Sunday. So all day Sunday, you'll still be able to enter. We will pick the winners on Monday.
Yeah. Check out that. I bet this is episode 15 of Cyion, so I bet he's got some good weapons by now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's one of the cool things about this game is the variety of weapons and the way that you can manage them, and the condition of your weapon matters. It's not just about what weapon you have, but what's the condition of your weapon, right?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like when I was playing, I should have been thinking this is like a Weasel special, man. There's all sorts of stuff to find. You're crafting stuff. You're selling it. You're looking at the. I guess stuff's breaking. I know I found a couple guns that were kind of garbage. And then you're able to change the sight or the silencer. I don't know. So I guess let's start with how this thing looked, Wes, because when I went into it, I couldn't. I even told Cyion, he was telling me to super sample. I was like, dude, it looks really good already. It was way better than. Of course, we played it early on when it first came out, but when they were still building on it. But it looked really good. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would, and I guess right off the top here, we should start from the very beginning. This is the 3rd time that we have played Into the Radius. We actually were given the keys to this game in the very early stages of the beta. So we played very early version of this game. Once again, we would like to thank CM Games for providing Roots and myself both with a copy of this game. Roots, what you're saying here is absolutely true. The other 2 times that we played this game, I mean, both times I could see the potential, and you can go back and see our review on it during the previous Monday show that we talked about this. We could see the potential in it, in the game structure, in the story, in what they had going on. But to say the least, we were quite underwhelmed with the actual game from a polish perspective, I guess you could say, a performance perspective. It wasn't the best looking game. It wasn't the best playing game back then. It was rather buggy and not very engaging. So I think at the time we suggested that people who have a lot of patience and could wait for the game to be improved upon, people who like that sort of game, that those people would probably be okay with buying the game. But we were rather cautious with it before. Now, upon playing this game now, and it's been a good long time since I've played it, I can say off the top, uh, I don't know, Roots, if I've ever seen a game improved as much as this game has improved from the first time we played it to full release. I mean, this is like, it's almost like a whole different game. You could see glimpses of what it was before, but man, I have absolutely no qualms right now, and I don't care to say it right off the top, suggesting that people buy this game. It actually now is a very polished, very beautiful looking game. Uh, uh, would you agree? Were you as blown away as I was at the difference between what this game is now and what it was then?
Yeah, I spent like the first 10 minutes of streaming just kept saying, "Wow, I can't believe how good this looks and everything." Now, let's get to the brass tacks, to the most important question here, Wes. Are you able to throw that fucking knife? Because I I sat there and I lost knives. I believe Cyion was laughing at me, but I couldn't hear him, but I could feel it. And I'm watching him throw it like it's just the easiest thing in the world. And he's telling me just let go of the grip. And it just was not working for me, man. I just stopped because I didn't want to lose my knives anymore.
Well, here's the thing, Roots. I really wish you had gone to something else because, like, literally, we go from me just totally putting this game over as being awesome, and you go straight to my one biggest complaint about this game, and that is the throwing. This is the one thing that has actually gotten worse for me from the earlier versions to today. And honestly, to be honestly fair, I don't know if the problem that I was having is the same as yours. I was honestly thinking I was having some kind of a problem with the Oculus Link. I mean, it was literally I couldn't throw knives, I couldn't throw the probes, and before I had no issue with it. But now when I try to throw a probe, I literally when I overhand throw it and let go with my normal throwing motion that I use in every VR game, the thing literally leaves my hand and shoots backwards over my shoulder like it's going directly in the opposite direction of where I'm throwing it. And I honestly thought it was a glitch, something wrong with the Oculus Link. Are you saying that you had something similar to that happen to you?
Yeah, I can't really comment on the probes because I'm assuming this is why, Wes, but I was doing the underhand throwing them, kind of flipping them because in the beginning I couldn't get it to throw. So it's probably is exactly what's happening. Maybe it's a Quest thing or I mean Oculus thing. I know the knife is throwable. I mean, I would just watch Cyion make it his bitch over and over again. He was throwing knives left and right, and that's what he was telling me. He's like, dude, those things you need to use a knife on them, and I'm like, I can't throw it, dude. And I wanted to throw it really bad at those little creepy things that comes running up at you. That's the thing, man. I will say, and I think my other Oculus Rift S headphones were better, or the audio is better, because I'm not hearing it as well as I was like bragging about when I had it before. Cyan's saying I should hear stuff. He's like, dude, something's out there. He's watching a delay, and he's telling me he's hearing stuff, and I'm like looking for it, and then here comes some creepy thing at me. So it's weird.
For sure, the directional audio is very good in this game, and it's very useful because, yeah, absolutely, you can hear those guys running around out there everywhere. But with regards to the throwing, that was the way that I found the workaround, because you do have to use those probes to work your way through the map. That was my initial workaround, was by throwing underhanded.
Hmm.
I could do that. I could throw underhanded. I could throw sidearm, but when I throw overhanded, it literally goes
Hmm.
straight back. And
I need to
eventually,
side throw my knives then sideways maybe.
well, the way that I worked around it, and after hundreds of attempts practicing, trying to find a way that I could throw overhanded, what ended up actually working for me about 1 out of 3 times was doing a very exaggerated slow motion throwing motion and letting the go of the trigger a little bit earlier than I felt like I should.
Hmm.
So if you do a very slow throwing motion and let go of the trigger about right here instead of at the end of your throw, it will go forward, and it will go far forward. Still not comfortable enough to really throw the knife. I just avoided that altogether. But at least by the time I got to the end of my play session, I was able to overhand the probes after a couple of attempts each time, throwing it backwards and then finally getting it. But you really have to go slow
Hmm.
and let go of the trigger at the very perfect time.
I'll have to try. I'll have to try that because I do want to go back in this game and I want to throw that knife because Cyion says, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Cyion, there's certain enemies that you like, they have to be hit with a knife to really die easily or quickly. So,
Yeah, I use the knife as just like a melee weapon. Like when they got close to me, I would stab with it. I knew I wouldn't be able to throw it in a tense situation. And boy, these situations get tense pretty fast, right? When these enemies see you and start coming after you, I mean, it's super creepy, isn't it?
yeah, it's super creepy. And what's funny is Cyion took me to some creepy crap right off the bat. He's like, "Oh, I just wanted to show you all the different creatures." I'm like, "You suck, dude." Because there's points where like I had one, I literally I killed a couple and I'm thinking, yes, Roots did it. And then there was like 3 more and they came around me. I died a lot, dude. And that's one of the things. I don't know if did you use the story mode? Probably not use the harder mode. I know the story mode gives you like these on your map, you can see a marker where you're at. And so it kind of helps you a little bit with them because the map is a little confusing. And then it also allows you to save. So I should have saved more, Wes, because especially last night, I must have started back at that beginning point like 5 times. And then I thought, oh, I'll save, but I was already burnt out and ready to get out and go do some Audica. But so I'm going to start saving more, but I want to get further in this game. I want to see what's out there.
I agree. It's definitely got that dark sci-fi tone that I love to a game. Didn't so much have it before, but man, does it have it in spades now. I mean, like, it's really imaginative, very creative world that they've put together here and scenario. These, I don't have the terminology of the game down like Scion does, but some of these anomalies are really freaky, and then the enemies are as well. And it's just the kind of I don't know, atmosphere, the kind of uncomfortable, dark atmosphere that I enjoy so much in VR. And before it didn't have that. I mean, before it was all very, uh, I don't know, just kind of dull and weird. But now, I mean, it's such a beautiful game. You see it right off the top, and even into the far distance, everything's so clear and crisp. And you have these giant heads and hands and stuff. And I mean, it's just a really weird, off the wall, beautifully rendered atmosphere. And I mean, everything's better with it visually. That they've added in a beautiful color palette into the game that wasn't there before. The lighting effects are night and day, literally night and day, right?
Mm.
To what they were before. And I'm not exaggerating, guys. I've played a lot of janky early access beta games before. I've never seen this kind of improvement from a game in such a short period of time. I mean, I'm extremely impressed with what they've been able to pull off here.
You know why, right?
I have no idea why.
He's in our chat right there, man. Cyion, all these videos he did, he was looking for bugs, man. He was fixing it. or one of the fixers anyway. So we appreciate all the work you did on it, Cyion, or helped do on it. And I don't know, I was really impressed with it. He says it was based off the book Roadside Picnic. Have you ever heard of that book?
I'm not familiar with it in the least.
Okay. Yeah, no. Now let me ask you this. Did you, like you said, you didn't get as far as you want because the tutorial was like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Somewhere around
it
there.
took me like longer than that, and it was kind of frustrating because not the tutorial, and again, another big difference between this and the first game. The first game, the tutorial, or the first version, I should say, the tutorial was just kind of a bother, something that kind of gets on your nerves to have to go through. Whereas the tutorial now is something that's actually fun to play through. It's kind of like playing through a couple of missions in the game, and it took me well over an hour to complete it, but I didn't mind at all because I really enjoyed it.
Isn't that like some devs do really well? It's like they do a tutorial and you forget you're doing a tutorial because it's part of the game and you're enjoying it. And then you'll learn something else and you're like, oh God, like even Cyion, when he came in, he was like saying something. I'm like, dude, I'm still in the tutorial, man, because it was taking a while. But so did you get to the point where you had to buy like a tent or anything like that? Because Cyion helped me and he told me to buy a tent because you can, it's like you're getting low on well, I guess not health, but if you need rest, you can like rest until you're, until morning, or until you're rested, you can sleep, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that seems to me like it would be very handy. I certainly got to the point where I could, sell my items and shop, but no, I never really bought a tent or got that far
Or a
into
sleeping
it.
bag. Sorry. Yeah. He's getting
A sleeping bag.
Yeah. But, no, it
But
was cool. It was cool.
yeah, I thought it was really cool, and the structure of the game in general, not the game itself, but the structure, the way the game's put together and the way it operates, reminded me a lot of Boiling Steel. Boiling Steel is kind of this similar structured game. You come into it, there's a super long tutorial, there's a lot to the gameplay, just like this one, and it's this post-apocalyptic event happens, right? And you find out that you're still in the tutorial, but at the end of it all, you end up, you know, holing up in this kind of rundown base in this post-apocalyptic world that you have to keep coming back to upgrade your weapons and upgrade your character. And then from this central hub, you select your missions that you go out into the world and complete, and then come back, lather, rinse, and repeat. It's a very similar structure between Boiling Steel and Into the Radius, even if the genre is different. I feel like if Cyion really enjoys this game, that he should play Boiling Steel. And if any of you out there enjoy Boiling Steel and would like a darker game, then you should try Into the Radius.
Yeah. And this, I guarantee we haven't even seen all the enemies, because now I found out,
No.
Wes, one of the enemies happens to be an anomaly. And I didn't know. You throw the probe at certain ones, and they'll shoot back at you, this laser or something. And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" No, Simon's like, "Oh yeah, don't probe those ones." Well, like, what the hell? There's just so many enemies, so many things out there trying to kill me. The next thing I know, I'm in the middle of this weird, like, I don't even know, like wavy stuff hanging in the middle of the forest, and Cyion's like, yeah, you need to watch for those in the forest. I don't know. There's just a lot to this game. It's creepy as hell. Definitely recommend it if you like creepy games. And it's what, $20 right now. It's on sale, I think, for the next week or so. I'm not sure exactly how long, but it's been on sale for a bit.
Yeah, I 100% recommend this game. It's especially if you like dark sci-fi style games, shooter games that are rather involved, that have a lot of character progression. It is story driven. They've added in even little bits of voice acting, which I thought was really good. Um, there's a lot going on here, but no, by no means is it a perfect game. Of course, as you heard us talk about, the throwing mechanic seemed to be broken for both of us, and I got a little frustrated because I thought it was a glitch, and I wanted to, start the game over and kind of reboot it, and maybe redo my Steam VR home a different way and see if it helped. But it does not allow you to save during the tutorial. And again, it was a very long tutorial, so uh, I found that kind of frustrating that I was too afraid to stop it because I didn't want to start the tutorial over.
Yeah. Well,
But
like I said, Cyon's flipping these knives around like they're nothing. So there's got to be a trick to it. Either that or it's.
And I played this on the Rift S before and had no issues throwing. So I really don't think that it was a Rift S inside out tracking thing. I really think that your issues and my issues are probably two different things, and that mine was more of a glitch.
Well, maybe mine is just user error. Roots needs to know figure out how to throw that damn knife. But
besides that, my only other real complaint with it is a very minor one. I did notice pop-in quite a bit throughout the game, but it wasn't like something that was totally immersion breaking. It was normally on the outskirts of my peripheral vision. It was ever present, but again, very beautiful, highly detailed environments with great lighting and just creepy. So many different types of activity and life forms and non-life forms that can hurt you. Very imaginative, original world that they've created for us here, and I'm glad Cyion kind of drug us along back into this game because it really is so much better than it was before, and it really is the kind of thing that I enjoy.
Cyion wants to know if you met the spider spawn.
Yeah, I answered him in the chat there. No,
okay.
I did not meet it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay, so what other games have the devs made? You know, Jim Hall wants to know. Is this the first game that they've made? As far as I know, right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with anything else that they've done, at least as far as VR goes. I don't want to speak out of turn here. I don't know. Maybe they have, and I'm just not aware of it. But this is the one that I know of.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, definitely recommend for me. And like Cyion said, distress to people. You know, it's an indie game. It's not AAA, but it's definitely really good. So.
Yeah, it is definitely an indie game, but it's a good indie game. I don't know how to say it. It's better than I thought it would be. It is way better than I expected. And hats off to the developers. Obviously, they've put a lot of hard work into it. And hats off to Cyion for giving them the feedback that they needed.
Yeah, and hats off to Cyion for giving us 3 keys, which one of them we're about to give away in the chat. I guess we should do that right now, huh?
Sure. We could do that right now. Just real quick before we do that, I want to wrap up by saying that I agree with Roots. I definitely can. Damn it, I lost my words, Roots. I definitely can.
Yeah, that's twice.
Recommend. I can recommend this to people now. I recommend that you can buy it, especially at its current sale price for $20. But again, as we mentioned earlier, you don't have to. If you have Viveport Infinity, this game is available to download as a part of that subscription service right now. So if you don't want to throw the $20 down and you don't get a free copy momentarily, you can just go to Viveport and check it out, and I highly recommend that you do.
And if you go to Viveport, definitely check out Tornuffalo and some of the other gems. You know, I was just thinking it's about time for another revisiting of what's on Viveport. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did a best of Viveport. Those are some of the funnest episodes that we've done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for the giveaway, I guess I need to come up with a trivia question, Roots. Something easy, something that our longtime viewers would know. Okay, I've got it. And I will accept one of 3 answers to this question. Any of them will win you this game. And if you've been following our channel for any amount of time, you should know the answer to this. Or any of the 3 answers that I've given to this question over the lifetime of our channel. Okay, for a copy of Into the Radius, what's my favorite game?
Oh, God, yeah. If you don't know this, you got issues. Mamefan screaming it at the screen right now.
Somebody tell me what my favorite game is, and you will win a copy, Jim Hall, of of
That's
Into the Radius.
you like that
Jim
game.
Hall
It's
says
not your
Jim Hall
favorite.
says Tetris Effect is my favorite game.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding. Does anybody want a copy of Into the Radius? Or does no one know?
No, main fan put it
Main
in there.
fan is our winner. Andrew Kiros says Saints and Sinners, and that is one of the other two answers that I would have accepted. Ray Delator says Walking Dead. I would have accepted that. But Main Fan was the first to answer, so congratulations, Main Fan. You now own Into the Radius, and I'll hit you up in the Discord after the show and give you your key.
You know what's funny
But,
about him winning that key is he is probably the best person to win it.
My mom.
That's for you, George Bullis. He's gonna play through the game, dude. He's gonna win it. You know what I mean? He's the finisher, dude. So that's a good person to win. You know, you never want somebody to win that's gonna just sit there and not play it.
Yeah, well, and honestly, you guys, stick to the Discord here. If you want a blunt, honest opinion on the game, that guy's going to give it, right?
Yeah, for real. He will hold no punches, dude. That's why we love Mamefan.
But for those of you who are wondering what those three answers to the question, Mamefan says I earned it by watching every RE7 video Wes made. Yeah, I've made as many RE7 videos as Cyion has made Into the Radius videos. So Mamefans the one person who has watched them all, so he knows.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I would have accepted Resident Evil 7, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, or The Walking Dead Onslaught, because I've said from day one I've called both of those Walking Dead games my favorite game of all time. Even before either of them was released, I've called them my favorite game. So I would have accepted them, but Resident Evil 7 is actually my favorite game, and it pretty much has been since the day that I played it.
Look at that sniper rifle. I think it's a sniper rifle or a rifle of some sort, right? I never found that.
Yeah, man, it's so cool that you get all these different weapons, and you'll find them all busted up. But as long as you're putting in the work to earn the currency in the game, you can repair those weapons. You just take them, put them in the vault, pay to have it repaired, and bada bing, bada boom, brand new weapon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is a good game. And again, hats off to CM Games for all the work that they've put in on it.
Oh, hey, Cyion VR says if you miss out on the keys in our giveaway, he's going to give away 2 more on his channel. So, like Wes said, there's a link in the description. So just link in there, subscribe so you know when he's going to do that. Yeah,
that was the very first thing that I put underneath our channel or our video description. The very next thing is the link to Cyion's channel, so you should all go there and subscribe. And again, 2 more keys to be given away during the next week's Monday show. If you would like to win a copy of Into the Radius, just subscribe and leave a comment down below stating that you would like to enter the giveaway, and we will draw the winners live on air 1 week from right now on the Monday Show 49.
Exciting.
And again, Cyion giving away a couple more keys, so stay tuned to his channel as well. Games Roots flying off the shelves. Free games all around.
Yeah, well, you know what's not flying off the shelf? Free game. Well, I guess it is flying off the shelf as a free game if you bought it already, right? Yeah, that game is Vertigo Remastered, right? That game for free is amazing because that's how I got it. I didn't even remember I bought it, and all of a sudden it was in my inventory, and I was like, "Holy crap, dude!"
Yeah, man, this is an interesting situation we have with this game here. Pretty much from the time that I heard that they were going to remaster Vertigo, for whatever reason, I knew that I was going to dig this game. I just knew that it was going to be good. And I've never played Vertigo. I didn't play the Vertigo 2 demo that's out, but I have seen footage. And I saw that this game has a very specific kind of weirdness going on. And I love weirdness in games. And Roots, it didn't let me down. I found this to be very enjoyable.
Yeah, no, Mamefan was my Cyion for this game. He was except for in the chat, he was actually helping me. He helped me save me some time in so many ways. And I was blown away. I must have said it like probably a dozen times just how cool the gameplay felt, the way it looked. Like people were talking about how it looked dated. I didn't think it looked dated. I thought it looked phenomenal. Everything felt good. The climbing, like this Zach dude that Gerillo was raving about from Valve, that worked a little bit at Valve, and he made this game, right, single-handedly pretty much. He is a wizard, dude. He is like a prodigy. Whatever they've been saying about him, that's exactly what I was saying. I said, man, this dude has got it going on, because this game, I haven't had more fun playing a game, and I'm only like maybe halfway through it, and it was just really fun.
Yeah, man, it's like and I get what people are saying when it comes to the graphics being dated, because some of the environments, you could see these old school blocky environments, but the textures and really just the overall, color and crispness of the game, it really has a good look to it. Now, that said, it's not the most detailed thing in the world. It's not. But for what it is, I think that it looks really good.
Yeah, well, there wasn't like a lot of static items everywhere, but I don't know. For me, like I said, and then the gameplay, the climbing, the just everything about it, just felt good, right?
Yeah, that was one of the highlights of the game. Actually, there's a lot of variety to the gameplay, a lot of different items and weapons that you can use going through here. Probably the single coolest method of teleportation that I've ever seen in any VR game.
No, it was very reminiscent to what's it called?
Budget cuts.
Yeah, budget cuts,
too.
but it was cooler. You know what I mean? And what's funny is I thought the teleport was related to the fluid. Your leveling up fluid. I guess many people don't even know you can upgrade your stuff for a long time. That was one way Mamefan saved me. He was like, dude, because I guess said he played through almost the full game gimped with almost nothing because he didn't level all his stuff up, right? So he told me right off the bat, which was really cool. So I actually got to upgrade my stuff, but I thought that fluid in the gun was related to to teleporting. So I was trying not to teleport, and then because I thought you filled it back up. I don't know, man. They didn't really explain it very well. And but then by the time I figured it out, I was like, oh shit, this is how you upgrade. That's I'm really excited to see those pools of energy or whatever they were.
Yeah, man. I've had a similar experience to you there. I thought that the things that you collect, I thought that those acted as batteries as well. Because they don't make it easy for you to discover. You have to go into the game's menu to upgrade your weapons and items. But the way that you get into the menu is an unconventional way. You have to double press the B button, pop, pop, really quick. And it doesn't really tell you that off the top, right at the top of the game. You have to, it was right before the first boss fight, before it even told me that. And that was when I discovered how to use the menu. That was when I discovered how to upgrade my items and weapons, was right before I faced the first boss. And the only reason it even told me then was because I found some of one of those bubbly item things right around the corner by taking a different path. So when I found that, it was the second one that I had found. The game told me to double press the button and bring up the menu.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you couldn't upgrade until that point, or maybe they didn't want you to upgrade till that point. Now this isn't a knock at Alex or anything, but I noticed I was looking through the achievements, and it said he got to it said something about fighting the first boss without a weapon. And I was like, how did he not get that weapon? Like, you get that pretty early on, right? So he literally went all the way to the boss without that stick. And that must have been very weird to try to get to this boss, and now you can't fight it. It's like, how do I hit anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. That must be strange. Yeah, that was fairly early on. Maybe he just didn't use it. Maybe he tried to, maybe he picked it up and then just tried to avoid enemies instead of fighting them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is strange.
Yeah, but no, it was. I thought that was ironic, but I thought the bosses were cool as well, and they weren't easy. So that was really cool. I just felt like it, even the puzzles and stuff. It was kind of reminiscent to me of Boneworks. You know, they made sense. They made logical sense. You get to something, and I was like that one. There was like these elevator things going up, like they were beds or something. And I look over and I see a trash can, and there's like these feet where you stand and it makes it move. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I need to put the pail there, and it wasn't heavy enough. So I went and found shit to put in the pail, and then it got it going. And I was like, oh, cool. And what was funny is Mamefan was like, well, I didn't even do it that way. So apparently there was another way to do it. That was just the way I figured it out to do it. So that was really, it was cool. No, it was really cool.
Now, you literally took the words out of my mouth. This game feels a lot like Boneworks. I would describe this game as Boneworks meets Budget Cuts 2 for Oculus Quest, because that's kind of what it felt like. Boneworks meets Budget Cuts 2 for Oculus Quest, and it has the best things out of both games. It's got the stuff. It's got all the stuff that I like about Boneworks in it, and none of the stuff that I dislike about Boneworks in it. It's got these big, massive, very crisp sci-fi environments. Has an awesome soundtrack. What did you think about the music? It was really, really good music, wasn't it?
It was really good. And you know what? Mamefan blew my mind on that too. He said that Zach did all the music himself as well. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This dude did everything. This developer is a prodigy, and I would look to see, I mean, Vertigo Remastered number 2 is probably going to be phenomenal. I know a lot of people said they didn't, or a couple people anyway in the Discord said they preferred this one to the second one demo, but that was a demo, and I guarantee they've been working on this one ever since. That's going to go into that second one. It's going to be just as good or better.
Mamefan's asking in the chat, what do I mean by for Oculus Quest? I'm talking about the visually, it's got rather basic looking textures, and the thing that makes this game look good are the things that make good looking Quest games look good, if that makes any sense. Lighting, color contrast, things like that. So I mean, it is a rehash of an older game, so I'm sure that's why it looks the way it looks. But it looks like a Quest game to me. It looks like something that would run on the Oculus Quest.
It's very charming.
Yeah,
as Derulo would
charming,
say.
Exactly. Right? It's got a charming look to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see this game running on Oculus Quest, and you know, that
was pretty funny.
His question kind of made me lose my train of thought here.
How did you like this video of this guy when he's like, oh, you know, as long as I don't teleport into the wall? And it was pretty funny too.
Brian, was that his name? Brian?
Yeah, he sure didn't. He didn't do very well. But this is your footage, by the way. So if you looks very familiar, it's Wes is on Wes's channel. If you want to, or is this on our channel? No, this is on your channel, right? You put it on.
I did this one on my channel.
Yeah.
I generally tend to the gameplays that we do on our channel are generally stuff that the developers send us keys, and you know, I normally don't like putting that stuff on my channel because they send it to us to, you know, get the kind of exposure that this channel has. Our whopping nearly 800 subscribers. I've got like under 2 on my channel. Link is in the description. Yeah. But no, I remember what I was going to say. This developer, he really is a prodigy. I mean, this kid's in his early 20s, and he's already worked at Valve a couple of years. He released this game on his own. Now he's remastered it on his own and is working on a sequel all by himself. Just, you know, skill and talent, you know, running off of this guy.
And you know what's funny is it almost feels better than Boneworks or Alex in a sense. I mean, because it's not Alex. The only thing that's wrong with Alex is it was too easy. This game definitely has a little bit harder as far as fights and stuff. Everything about this game blew me away. Definitely worth picking up, in my opinion. I think it's only what, $22 or $21 or something.
I was thinking it was more than that. I was thinking
Hmm.
it might be on sale for 21. I think it's like retails for 25 or 30.
Okay. Well, it's definitely worth 30, even if you know, I mean, the gameplay that I would put it up there as one of the better games in VR at the moment. The physics are amazing. I mean, everything about it. Like I keep forgetting this. Let me get this out before it goes. Boneworks. You mentioned Boneworks, right? Like I went and I opened drawers in this thing and that felt good. I was like, oh my God, this is how the drawers should slide open, Boneworks developers. Like it
You
wasn't
mean that
everything was
you mean you didn't pull the cabinets over on top of you?
no, and I mean everyone like I mean it opened really easy. Now, granted, nothing was in the drawers. I was a little bummed out about that, but at least the drawers I looked at. But no, I just I think that this game, anybody that isn't looking forward to Vertigo Remastered, or I mean 2, should be for sure.
Yeah, it was a great game. Mamefan says this guy's 20 years old.
Oh, Onakazi says his dad works at Valve as well, so he's got it in his
Dad
blood.
should be very proud.
Wow, didn't go to college, taught himself mostly. That's cool.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, obviously a very talented developer. This guy, I mean, clearly, if his dad works at Valve and he's this talented, he could still be working at Valve if he wanted to. But he wants to do his own thing, and he has a lot to be proud of here. This is a great game. It makes me look forward even that much more to the sequel. And yeah, shining review here. Only a couple of real complaints that I have with it. Number one was the glitch that I displayed at the very beginning of the video I made. There, or at least there was at the time, a glitch with the seated mode. I tried to play this game seated, but when you're in seated mode, for whatever reason, you fall through like the floor or the ground or whatever it is you're walking on, and all of a sudden the ground will be at your chest level.
Oh, wow.
And the only way that I could fix it was by going into the standing mode. In standing mode, it works perfectly. So I don't know what the deal is there. I'm sure it's something that he'll fix in short order.
Yeah.
And well, let me ask you: did you try to play it seated at all?
I did not, because I was streaming it, and it's just not a game that I would play sitting streaming. So,
okay. The other complaint that I have about it, I actually have about a lot of VR games, and I've got a bone to pick with a lot of these VR developers because this crap is really getting on my nerves, Roots. I had this problem in Vertigo. I had this problem in Into the Radius. You guys are going to have to stop putting these invisible walls around tables. They put stuff on the table that you want to look at or reach and grab closely. But when you lean over the table, this invisible wall pushes you back away from the table and you don't get any closer to the items on the table. It's immersion breaking. It makes you feel weird and it's extremely frustrating. There's a laundry list of other games that do this. Contagion comes to the top of my mind. It really, really bothers me, Roots. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
But like Into the Radius, for example, when you first go into your dormitory, there's a map on the table, and it tells you to study the map because you need to have a knowledge before you start your missions of where you're going and what you're doing. There are words drawn on that map, very small words that you want to get close and read. But as soon as you stick your face to the edge of the table, this invisible wall pushes you, your whole body, physically away from the table. Good God, this thing gets on my nerves, and I wish to God that VR developers would stop doing this.
Yeah, I laughed because I could tell just as you're describing it that it was you were reliving the frustration, and I had it as well, and not so much in this game. It's not game breaking, or not even game breaking, because I don't want to say it's game breaking Into the Radius, but there was a couple times I was supposed to be climbing up some rocks. You know what I mean? Like science, I just go, you put your hand on the one, you see the white dot and you can pull yourself up. I had some trouble where it kept pushing me back and I'm trying to grab it and I'm like trying to come at it from a different angle. And I agree. I don't know what the deal is because other games don't have that. And I guess even Saints and Sinners kind of did that a little bit in the beginning, right? Wasn't it? And then they fixed it. So there's clearly a way to fix it. Just fix it. No more invisible walls. Wes and Ruuts have decided fuck those walls. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's going to move your in-game body without you moving is going to make you feel weird and break your immersion. I kind of understand it a little bit when it comes to, getting too close to walls and things. But even at that, there are ways around pushing you away. I mean, most people will make like your vision go black or some
Mm.
other color and fade out. But with tables, there's really no excuse. You should be able to lean over a table.
Especially if there's a
Yeah.
map that they're saying, hey, look at this map really closely.
Yeah.
And then you try to look closely and it's pushing you away. And it's like, is this kind of some kind of tease or something? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, yeah, not a game breaker, but certainly an immersion breaker, and increasingly becoming a pet peeve of mine. I really can't stand that when that happens to me in a game. It bothers me a lot. And both of the games that I played for this week's episode have that same kind of thing going on, and it just kind of pushed me over the edge, Roots.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, Hecklack says there's no wall, but because the HMD is a single point position tracker for the player collider, full player height, the player collider is meshing with the table collider. Yeah, I mean, that sounds very technical. I don't care what the explanation is. Just, I just don't, I agree with Wes, man. And somebody had said that, I think it was VR Spry Guy used to give him a little motion sickness. And that's exactly what you said. If somebody's got a little bit of motion sickness, sensitivity, that could do it. So hopefully there's a way to fix it. There's got to be a way to fix it. But look at those drawers, Wes. They are coming out butter smooth, bro.
Yeah, man, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about it. Is things do tend to be fairly interactive in the game, and you can see right there precisely what I'm talking about. Not very detailed textures at all, but still a very beautiful looking game. I mean, this guy knows the tricks, right? I'm a sucker, and I was just talking to the Jay from Stonepook Studios about this the other day. I'm a sucker for two things in VR, and they get me every time: bloom, which is the glowy effect, and particles, which really make the 3D stick out. And this game has blooming particles, which are glowing little particles that float around everywhere. And it just, I could see it 100 times in 100 different games, and every time I'm going to say, wow. And even just the sword in this game, the way the particles flow with your movement,
dude.
even when you're on the elevator, the particles flowing down to the floor. I mean, it really was it was exceptional work.
It was cool. Like when you were on those zip lines or wherever, like you said, if you were moving, there was a couple times I was like just marveling at the, like you said, the particles and the wave that it left behind. And it just looked very beautiful. It was very fun. Story's engaging. The gameplay's fun. I like upgrading stuff. You know, I like even just the amount that you can move your locomotion. I didn't know but Mamefan was telling me, no, you got to do your, I can't remember what the first thing was that I needed to do. I think the teleport distance, because that's, eventually you get to your movement to where you can move fast. Cause man, you're walking so slow, and then finally you can move fast, but there's all sorts of other things to upgrade as well. It makes me want to upgrade those. And, I just talking about it makes me want to go back in. I'm going to have to stream it pretty soon here and finish this game.
Yeah, there's good detailed upgrade trees on all of the items. Teleport distance was the one I went for at first too. Those were my first two upgrades, were teleport distance, because I don't need to move any faster. It moves pretty fast as it is. But the distance, that's a big help. After that, I went to reload speed on the pistol, because the pistol's cool. It's not very powerful though. You have to continuously, hit your enemy, and when you first find it, you've got to reload often with it. So that was what I went for next, was reload speed.
That's what I did too. And then Mamefan scolded me a little bit, slapped my hand and said, no, bro, you need to walk faster. Well, actually I was bitching about it. I was like, why am I walking so slow? It wasn't fast enough for me. But I found that stick or wand or whatever they give you, they literally, like I was hitting them and it was taking several hits. And then one time I just really let loose and it one shot them. So it actually does more damage, the harder you swing as well. I was getting pretty good with that. I would hit them, knock them back, or no, I would shoot them, knock them back, and then smack them. And I got a good rhythm.
That actually reminds me, now that you mentioned that, of another complaint that I have. Again, very minor complaint, but normally I laugh at you, Roots, when you insist on having a jump button in games.
Mm.
But man, I sure would love to have a jump button in this game, because even though you can bring out your teleport thing there and teleport onto any surface that's anywhere remotely near to you, I like dual wielding. Like you said, I like to have the sword in the left hand, pistol in the right hand, and using them together. But when you're working through some of these levels, and these are big, some of these levels are really big, like Boneworks levels, where you're moving through different platforms and things. Um, you have to stop for a minute, switch items, pull out your teleporter, teleport onto a platform, pull out your sword again, and all of that could be negated, all of that switching, if you just had a jump button. And so you keep your weapons in your hand, jump from platform to platform.
Yeah, I do want to, like VR Spry Guy says, Roots would take jump over speed though. He's right. I want to jump. It would be nice to jump. I think you should be able to jump. I've never ever existed in any real life situation though where I can't jump. I guess it's like when you have that dream where you're not able to run. It's a bad dream where you can't jump, and I just want to jump, Wes.
Yeah, Roots is Roots's image of hell is being in a wheelchair or something, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, I would agree. I would love to, but yeah.
Okay.
I got
Anyway,
totally sidetracked there. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get what Mamefan saying here. He says you have to do both in this game.
So somebody was asking in the chat. They were asking about teleporting versus locomotion for people that get sick easy, okay. And people were, and he's saying that you have to do both in this game. There's no real way to I guess you could teleport the entire time, but that would be really weird. You know what I mean? You kind of
this hybrid locomotion is actually my preferred method of locomotion in most games. I wish that we had the options to either walk or teleport in most games, and it's really done well here. And again, I thought budget cuts teleportation was really cool with the portal that you could peek through, but I think I like it even better in this game just because of the way it works. It feels cool to teleport in this game.
It does. And what's cool is also using your weapons or whatever it is to, like that guy, or not that guy, you used your hand. I use my wand. I'll push it from a distance or smack it, I just like the physics are so good, and it just feels good.
Yeah, definitely has that Valve feel to it, doesn't it? That Half-Light. People call it Half-Light, Lite. And I see it here.
Yeah. There's not a question why Jarillo was raving about it, because it does. It feels like it could be Half-Life almost, even more so than Boneworks in a way. So
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Boneworks, for all of its immersiveness, and again, it probably stands as the most immersive game I've ever played. It's not always fun to play. Because it's goes a little overboard with the physics, in my opinion.
Yeah, this one, what they did well too is a lot of different enemies and stuff. I thought was pretty cool, and I haven't really gotten, maybe halfway, but there was definitely a lot of different things to fight. Now I don't know what those little babies are. Mamefans, did they come into the picture later? I still haven't found out yet. So
yeah, I haven't. It's like the one thing that I didn't kill in the game were the babies. I still haven't killed any of the babies.
Oh, dude, I've been killing them even though I don't need to. I don't know. See, my thing is that I came across some eggs. I can't remember what it was I killed. I killed something that I didn't like, and then there was these eggs there, and I squashed every egg because I didn't want them to hatch. So I don't know if these things are going to turn into those ugly guys or not, or they're going to attack me. And I'm going to be like, damn, I should have killed them while I had the chance.
I would have let these things live if they didn't attack me. Like they were being attacked by the robots. So I killed the robots for trying to mess with them. And then they turned on me, so I had to kill them too.
Yeah, those jerks. Yeah, he said you will. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be babying it up. You're going to be killing the hell out of them.
Like Anakin Skywalker at the Jedi Temple. Huh?
I was just thinking that. Yeah, because it kind of looks like a lightsaber, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Anyway, two games this week, two winners in my opinion, Roots. Two very good games, two recommends from me.
Yeah, absolutely. Two games that I enjoyed playing and streaming, and that I plan on playing and streaming again because I had so much fun.
Absolutely. I concur, sir. Definitely going back into both of these.
Cool.
All right. That said, we're going to move into our topic, Roots, and it's really an interesting one because we talked a little bit about this last week, but between last week and this week, we have gotten a little bit more information, and I'm talking about the, I don't know, what should we call it? Oculus Quest 2, Oculus Lite, Oculus Go 2, Quest Lite, a lot of different names going around about this new headset coming from Oculus. We've had a ton of images leaked this week. And for whatever reason, Roots, it has, I mean, obviously it's going to stir the speculation up. The people who like to talk about hardware love speculating, but the speculation has really gone in some directions here this last week that I guess I understand to an extent. But man, as usually is the case, I feel like there's danger here of the speculation getting out of hand.
Yeah, because a lot of the speculation, and I think I know what you're talking about, to me, don't even make logical sense. I mean, it's one of those things that you can hear it and you can see that point for a second, but then you think, well, wait, why would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird, and it is dangerous because we've talked about, especially with VR, people getting their expectations up, them expecting a certain price point or whatever it is, and then it doesn't live up to their expectations, and people flip their shit, and it's really weird.
Yeah, it's a cycle that we've seen repeatedly when it comes to VR hardware. People, uh, they start speculating, and these periods from between the time where the speculation starts and the specs are released, these are generally long periods of time. So these are long periods of speculation, and during this long period of speculation, people begin to assume certain things are true just because they've heard them so many times, even though there's no factual basis for it. And then when the day comes where we learn what the actual product's going to be, and certain expectations that are baseless aren't met, people then begin to crap all over the product. We saw it with Rift S, right? People had an expectation of what they thought Rift S was going to be. Now, Rift S is an awesome device. It's not perfect. There are things certainly you can criticize about it, but there are other things that people criticized about it before they tried it that weren't fair. And the only reason that it drew such criticism was because people had other expectations. Specifically, I remember the day where people crapped all over the Rift S because it had an LCD panel in it. People just crapped all over it. They said Oculus was cheaping out, that there's no benefit to going from an OLED to an LCD. But now that a lot of people have tried Rift S, a lot of people have tried Valve Index, many of them say, never again will I use an OLED panel, only LCD for me from now on. This is just one example, Roots, of how speculations turn into expectations and expectations turn into disappointment.
Yeah, and they just they get all wound up about it, expecting it, and then it doesn't pan out. But I don't like the Rift S, the LCD screens. And another thing that everybody said before anything, knowing anything, is once they found out Lenovo was connected to it, it was now the Lenovo S, and it was garbage. It was Windows Mixed Reality, and without even trying it, right? And I'll tell you what, Wes, I love that Halo. Like, it's so comfortable. It is super comfortable. I mean, you can't lay down in bed with it, but I'll tell you what, I don't like that strap at all. The strap that's going on the new Quest, I don't like it, man. I mean, I've never tried it, so I that type of a strap, but I don't think I would like it. So I don't know.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this because, well, first of all, I guess we need to talk a little bit about what the common speculation is. What are the things that people are tending to believe that this is going to be? Because we don't know what this is going to be. We know that it's a white headset from Oculus with touch controllers. We know it's going to be 6 DOB. We can tell from the camera placement on it and the controllers that this is a 6 DOB headset. That's really all that we know for sure. Now, most people are suspecting that this is going to be a Quest Lite, or in other words, an entry level or a new low for entry level, meaning this is going to be a product that is built around cheapness and it's going to hit the market at a lower price point. I've seen people say $300, and $300 is the highest price I've seen people speculate.
Wow.
I've seen people speculate $250. I've seen people even speculate $200 for this Roots. Um, I get it. It has an elastic strap on it. That's very much Go like. And, the color scheme is very, very much Go like. So, what do you think, Roots? Do you think that this thing is going to be priced at $300 or less?
I don't know, man. To me, they can't keep the stock of the Quest 1 in at 400. Why would you cannibalize if people are willing to pay 400 all day long? If people are running out and buying this thing more than you can supply, that's not the time you cut the cost. You know what I mean? Like I guarantee $400 sells all day long. And so I can see, people will say, oh, Oculus wants to sell as many headsets as they can. They want to get to those billion people, and that makes sense. But is that $100 really going to be that much different to get people in there to cannibalize their product line? Because they're still selling Rift S as well for 400. So are they going to drop the Rift S as well? Because I guarantee if the Quest right now is equal to the Rift S, then isn't the Quest 2 going to be better than the Rift S, but now it's going to be cheaper? I don't know, man. It's just weird to me.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, I can definitely see big advantages for them releasing a $300 6 DOF headset. Again, affordability is still a barrier to VR for a lot of people. So going 300 or even lower would be huge. It would be huge for VR as an industry. But why am I not convinced that that's going to be the case? Well, first of all, you can tell by looking at this. Well, let's start with this. Obviously, the look. We just said it. It looks, from a color scheme perspective, from a strap perspective, this looks like an evolution of Oculus Go. So it does look like this is going to be a new entry-level headset. But I don't see them releasing another 6 DOF headset that can't do at least what Oculus Quest does. So if they're going to release something that plays the entire Quest catalog, something that has full 6 DOF tracking, just like the Oculus Quest, something that pretty much has all of the features of Oculus Quest, then why would anybody bother to pay $400 for an Oculus Quest? Why wouldn't you just buy the $300 one? What, you're going to pay another $100 for an IPD slider and a nicer head strap? I don't think so. So in that sense, it really doesn't make sense to me. But again, it does look like an Oculus Go.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that makes me think, okay, because why would you pick the same color scheme unless you were trying to connect the two, maybe a cheaper version? But because what you just said is the same thing that I feel with the Rift S. Everybody says with the link cable, the Quest is just as good as the Rift S. Why not just get the $300 model and not get either one of the other two? If the specs are as good or if not better than those two headsets, which I must imagine they're going to be, specs are going to be better, right? And it's going to 90 hertz, so that's going to be better than the original Quest, or at least is that for sure, or is that speculation? I don't know what the hell speculation. What's real anymore?
Okay, so this is where my thinking seems to diverge from a lot of the other guys out there that are commenting on this. In my opinion, I think we've got a fairly good idea of what this is from the Bloomberg article from 3 months ago. You know, Bloomberg told us 3 months ago that this was coming, that Oculus was working on a new, quote, Oculus Quest. And they told us quite a few things about this headset that's upcoming. And for the record, this is not the first time that Bloomberg has leaked information to the media about an upcoming Oculus hardware product. They've done it before with other headsets, and they've been correct before. So we can pretty much consider Bloomberg a credible source of linked information. So what did Bloomberg say? And I've got it right here. The first thing I'd like to point out, quote, this is what they said. For the new Quest device, Facebook is testing the removal of the fabric from the sides and replacing it with a more plastic, like the Oculus Rift S. It's also considering changing the materials used in the straps to be more elastic, like the rubber, more elastic than the rubber and Velcro that's currently used, according to people familiar with the matter. So here we go, Roots. Here we have Bloomberg 3 months ago telling us basically what these pictures have just now showed us. People are acting like this is some kind of a big shocking thing, but they told us this 3 months ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess maybe those elastic straps are not that expensive, and they can cut corners that way to make more profit. I don't know, but yeah, that looks like everything they said is exactly what this is. And I guess Walking Cat said this is what Hussein X said. Internally, it's being referred to as Quest 2, so it must have some improvements, maybe. That's my thought. Is I just don't see them going backwards. Why would they not improve, especially with the fact that they've already been talking about that next chip that they want to put in the next version. So that's more power, and you're going to probably have Mamefan was theorizing this, and it makes sense to me as well, that possibly they are using the same LCD that they have in the Rift S, and that was why it was so hard to get the Rift S for a while, because they were double dipping the screens producing these for release as well. Which I don't know. I guess it's all good speculation, but that sounds just as viable to me as anything else.
Well, that is true. But from what we just said about the plastic material and the elastic strap, what Bloomberg said about that, when you look at that and you look at their prior leaks of other products, I think that obviously they're a very credible source. So then it begs the question, what else did they say about this product? They didn't just tell us about the material, the plastic material, and the strap. So if that was correct, we assume that the rest of what they said was correct. So what else did they say? Well, first of all, they said that this new Quest is going to be at least 90 hertz, at least 90 hertz.
God.
And they said that some models are being tested up to 120 hertz, even if the screens in the thing will go up to 120 hertz, they may lock it at 90 to preserve the battery life in the thing. So Mamefan could very well be right that it's using the exact same panel that's used in the Rift S, because we already know that panel in the Rift S was artificially locked at 80 hertz. It can go higher, but they locked it at 80 hertz to preserve their minimum spec. So this very well could be the same Rift S, very well be the same Rift S LCD panel in it. But I believe Bloomberg here when they say that this thing is going to be at least 90 hertz. And I think the reason for that 90 hertz is I think that it's going to be a focus that the Oculus Link service is going to be more of a focus for them now than it was during the development of the original Quest. So they want to put out a PC that'll run at 90 when tethered to a computer. So it makes perfect sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do so successfully. People like to speculate about the lifespan of the Oculus Rift S. I could see it going away in a year or two, man. If they're putting out these hybrid headsets that run at 90 hertz with the same panel in it, now we're talking some real speculation. But what we do know from the Bloomberg article is that this device is going to run at least 90 hertz up to 120, and that it is going to run with Oculus Link. The article also said that this device would run with Oculus Link. So here we have, Roots, a headset that, while yes, it looks like a Go, and yes, it has an elastic head strap on it, it's got newer, more ergonomic controllers with it. It's got a LCD screen that's going to have a crisper picture that's running at a higher refresh rate, and it's going to do everything Oculus Quest does. How could they possibly drop this down to $300 and still keep Quest as a viable product?
Yeah, they can't, especially if the Quest is so uncomfortable. If this one's actually comfortable a little bit. Now let me ask you this. As you're talking about this, I get a little excited, Wes, but then I don't want to get my hopes up. Do you think they'll artificially unlock the Rift S to 90 at some point? Like, let me choose. I've got a computer that can run it at 90. I don't want to get stuck at 80, dude. That's ghetto. Well, it's not ghetto, but I want to be at 90, man. Like, I don't want rendered reality to have that 10 frames over me when we're playing contractors, It
depends, Roots. They're certainly capable of doing it, and I think that the fact that they got rid of their system test on Oculus.com recently certainly leans to something in that direction, that they may not be focusing on that minimum spec quite so much anymore, because let's face it, PCVR isn't their priority anymore. So why would they care about that? Now that said, the reason why the reason that they gave for the original Oculus Quest not running at 90 hertz was because they registered it with the FCC as a 72 hertz device. So for them to bring it up to 90 hertz, they would have to refile and reapply with the FCC. Now, I don't know if that's the same case with Oculus Rift S, but if it is, then I think your Oculus Rift S is going to be running at 80 hertz for quite some time.
Yeah, well, Mamefan makes a good point. Let's look at this picture here. The battery is still in the, well, this is not as good as the second one here. As good as it's not, it's going to be in the front, right? It still looks front heavy,
Yes, but the Bloomberg article talks about this as well. Not the battery specifically, but the Bloomberg article says that this headset will be 20% lighter. So even though the battery and all the stuff's still in the front of it, it's significantly lighter than the original Oculus Quest. And beyond that, I think you can tell by looking at it there that the facial interface material is a different material as well. So that might be a little softer, more cushiony. And with the different strap and the lighter device, I'm sure that this is going to be a more comfortable headset.
Yeah, well, looks good. I would definitely be very interested in trying it. Now, you had me pull this up for some reason, this picture.
Now, yeah, this is an interesting thing to me, because a lot of people are looking at this and they're saying that this might be an IPD adjustment, because there's no IPD adjuster on the bottom, which leads us to believe that obviously it's going to be a software-based solution for IPD. This looks like a toggle switch, Roots, and I don't know what 1 and 2 are going to represent. You can tell by looking at the lenses there that they're kind of cupped off. So they look like they could move a little bit.
It looks like there's a gap there, actually. It looks like there is literally a gap that it could actually slide out a little bit, right?
Right. So my question to you here, and my thought is with this, do you think that we could be seeing the beginnings here of a hybrid IPD system that's not fully slider, a lens slider, but not fully software, but kind of a little bit of both? It moves the lenses just a little bit and then uses that along with some software fixes on the single LCD panel to give us a new kind of IPD solution.
Okay. Well, yeah, it sounds good to me. I mean, it definitely is very viable or possible. And, maybe it addresses the issue for people like Anthony, whose eyes are spaced out a little bit, further, like with the IPD, it's physically moving, making it bigger, and now they're good. Right. So,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that does look like a toggle, doesn't it? That too, that looks like a toggle switch, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it looks like something to me. I mean, either that or it's just pointing out this is the Quest 2, but I doubt that's the case. It definitely looks like a toggle to me.
Now, that said, that could be a toggle switch for anything. It doesn't necessarily mean IPD adjustment. And this is one of those things that, again, I want to caution people about. Uh, Speculations becoming expectations is a very dangerous thing when it comes to hardware products. Expectations lead to disappointment. So, as of right now, we should all expect this thing to have no IPD adjustment on it other than software adjustment. And if it comes out, if this thing turns out to actually have a manual or hybrid IPD adjustment on it, then that's something we can all be happy about and celebrate. But I wouldn't expect it at this point. I would expect that toggle there to be something else that we're not even considering.
Yeah, well, Heclac's not impressed with the FOV on the Oculus, so I think
It certainly could be better, couldn't it?
yeah, that's the thing is like I really want a wider field of view, at some point, especially for Autica, but doesn't seem like they're really moving in that direction. But I mean, they can't do everything, right? They're trying to make this thing run. It's going to be wireless. It's going to be at 90 hertz instead of 72 before. So it's going to be obviously needing more juice, and you want that juice to go into the game, not necessarily a wider field of view. So I don't know. I guess it's a trade-off.
Yeah, that's what I think that this is going to be at the end of the day. I think that this device is going to be a trade-off. I see it being priced at $400 or less. It certainly could be priced less, but I'm not going to expect that. I expect this to be a trade-off. I expect it to have a LCD panel running at 90 hertz in it, a crisper picture, a smoother picture. I expect it to be more lightweight and comfortable, and I expect it to work maybe even a little bit better as a link device. It might have better performance when tethered to a PC. So that's what I expect here. I expect it to be Oculus Quest S. But again, there are things there like the color scheme, the elastic strap. There are things there to point to. It might be a budget option, as many people are speculating, but we just don't know. So at this point, I think that we should expect a $400 headset that makes some trade-offs, that gives us upgrades in some places and downgrades in other places. And then if we get something else, we can all be happy about that.
Yeah. Well, since I don't already own a Quest, it's going to be a no-brainer for me either way, as long as it's, I mean, the biggest things that kept me from getting the original Quest was comfort and memory size. I think it's going to be more than 128, but I don't think they probably still won't have an SD. Maybe it'll be, I mean, even if you had 500 gigs, dude, to me, that's borderline. That's what the minimum you should have in a computer, right? At the minimum.
Dude, this thing does not need 200 or 500 gigabytes.
It needs 500 million gigs. But no, but if you had 500, I don't know. I know you're not one person to do it, and I just don't. I hate swapping games, and we are getting to the point now where we are getting games that are getting bigger. And I know you'll say, "Oh, you still don't." There's something to be said. Same thing with your main hard drive. A lot of people have their main hard drive on their computer. They have X amount of gigs, and they don't load extra stuff on it. And the more stuff you load on it, the slower it runs. And then you couple that with a battery, you're gonna, people, if they're running their 64 gig Quest at 60 gigs, it's not gonna run as smoothly as it would if you had 18 on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why not give yourself that more headroom so you don't even come close? Let the thing run as good as you can. I don't know. That's my thought.
I'm not saying I wouldn't give it to myself if I had the option. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is even a 250 gigabyte of memory in this thing is going to seem like a terabyte. It really is. The 64 has been sufficient for me. 128, I got to imagine, would be huge. 500 would be like a friggin' infinite amount of space. These games are so small, Roots. They're way smaller than PC games.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you got the next step up, if it's going to be more powerful, the games are going to become get bigger. I like to future proof myself. And I would still rather them give me a freaking SD card. Let me choose how much space I want, you know?
Sure.
Make it a
No, I can agree with you on that. I think that there should be expandable memory on it, and it's kind of a sleazy Apple-like move that there's not. So I fully concur with you there. This thing should take micro SD.
yeah, or make it a special proprietary one that I have to buy from
Sure.
Oculus. $100 disc. I don't care. Give me the option.
I agree with you there, 100%. There should be expandable storage on it. Anyway, so you say, all right, so let's say Roots is burning now to buy a Quest. There's a lot more and more we're seeing Quest exclusive content and features being released from Oculus. Let's say Roots wins the lottery tomorrow,
Ooh.
has $500 in his pocket. Does Roots go out and buy a Quest tomorrow, or does Roots wait to find out what this is going to be?
Oh, I'm waiting. I've already waited this long, and you know the trade-offs. You talk about trade-offs. The trade-offs for the Quest aren't, you know, to be wireless. I don't like the trade-offs. I don't like the comfort and the, you know, I could get by on the. I would have 128 gigs. I could be fine with the space, but the comfort really is it. And then having to buy all the extra stuff to make it feel better. And then this thing comes out 3 months later, and I'm like, what the hell did I do? You know, but I mean, on the other end, maybe this comes out and it is a low budget and lower than the Quest, and it is an entry point one. Then maybe I do start looking at the Quest again, because I would like to have a wireless solution to take places with me. Hell, I even have customers that I talk enough about VR. It would be super cool for me to show up to the stop one time with it and be like, hey, check this out. You know, this is what VR is, as long as they're not afraid of getting the sick. So
Yeah, so I agree with you. My whole expectation ever since I read the Bloomberg article, I expected this to be kind of a Quest S that makes trade-offs, and I fully expected that when it released, that I would be selling my Quest and buying it. The only thing that gives me cause for pause is that elastic strap on there. That looks kind of cheap to me.
well,
And
like it's gonna wear out and after a year and not be tight enough, right?
right, exactly. It's going to stretch. I mean, it looks super cheap. So, whereas before I was kind of certain that I would be getting this new headset when it comes out, now I'm going to take I think I'm going to take a wait and see approach, and I may just keep my original Quest because while the OLED isn't quite as crisp as the LCD panel, it does have its advantages when it comes to colors. It's a very good looking panel with technically a higher resolution in it. So my whole thing is I'm going to wait and see what this is and see what the price is. Hey, if this turns out to be a Quest Lite, a budget version, like people all seem to believe that it's going to be, I might not even sell my Quest Roots. I might just buy this thing outright and have two of them.
Yeah, because your kids could play in one, you know, and that would be theirs. Here you go. You guys can always, this one's open. Because you've even said a few times you were going to try a game or check out a game before the show, but you couldn't because your son was using it and you didn't have the heart to just kick him off, which I would have just been like, get out of here, kid. It's my turn.
Yeah. And it's increasingly becoming an issue here that there's more and more social VR stuff that we want to do together, but we don't have enough compatible headsets to do it. I mean, there's these music festivals and things that take place in the Oculus Quest. There are these, these events that happen in the Wave, for example, that me and my wife would like to go to together, but we can't because we only have one compatible piece of hardware. Having a second Quest or a second headset that is able to do the things that the Quest does would be very helpful. And if they went $300 or less, I think that's the likely direction I would go with it. I just don't see them putting out a device that does everything the Quest does, that's an upgrade in some areas for significantly less money. I just don't see that.
Nah, because you're cannibalizing the whole product line for both Rift and Quest, in my opinion.
Exactly. Now I asked. Well, I don't want to name drop, but the other day I asked a fairly prominent YouTuber on Twitter because he was going the same route with it as well, saying that this is surely going to be a Quest Lite, and I pointed out to him this Bloomberg article, and that this is it's going to be an upgrade in some way. So how could it be a Quest Lite? And his response to me was that Oculus Del Mar and this Quest headset were actually two different headsets, and that that we're going to get multiples coming out in the next year from Oculus. So what do you think about that? Do you think that this is actually something different than the Del Mar with the Jedi controllers that we were learning about right around the same time that Bloomberg article released?
Maybe that'd be really cool, actually. And why not? A couple different products. Let's just make 1 million out there. The 6, 7, 12. I mean, it's already confusing enough with the Quest and the Rift S, and people don't, I mean, the Go's out of there now. But I guess, the fact that that's the only thing that gives me pause in this whole thing and kind of lays credence to that is, one, obviously the straps, the color, all of that. It just seems like that could be a case, I guess, so.
Yeah, that's the one thing that gives me cause for pause is the look of it. But at the end of the day, the fact that Bloomberg called the elastic strap and they called the build material leads me to believe that this is just one headset. It's not two. The headset that they were talking about then is the headset we're looking at. This is the Oculus Del Mar. Those are the Jedi controllers. And Oculus gives code names to everything that they work on, this one being no different. And in case any of you are wondering what the difference is with the controllers, these are different controllers, but it's all ergonomic. They have a different shape to them. They're going to contour to your hand a little bit better. But the main reason for redoing the controllers is so that the battery doors don't slide off anymore. That's why they changed them. You get in a vigorous game and the thing will come off in your hand and throw you off. That's why they changed the design of the controller, was so that doesn't happen anymore.
Was that a Quest only thing? Because that's never happened to me on the Rift S.
It doesn't happen to me very often either, but I've seen a lot of people who play Beat Saber complain about it.
Yeah, well, it's Beat Saber.
It has happened a couple times, but I mean, it doesn't happen often to me. I don't get that crazy with my controllers. I mean, I punch my ceiling fan a whole lot with them, but the battery doors generally tend to stay on pretty well.
Well, let me tell you this about this is not bringing up Beat Saber, which leads to Audica. I tried a couple of custom songs today, and those things, dude, they're like the ones that I made, especially from Sugar Bear 125. It actually came in the stream the other day. It is very fast. It is not expert. It's got to be, I would say, expert plus by far, because I had to slow down things, West, to even play these things, because there's so much going on. But it's crazy. And anyway,
that's awesome. That's where you need that 10 more hertz, Roots, playing games like that.
Yeah, I'd want 40 more hertz. Wouldn't that be cool? 120.
That'd be awesome. You know what else would be awesome? An Oculus Quest at 120 hertz running Polybius.
Oh my God, wireless. Let's do it.
Yes,
let's do it.
Risky Business says, or are the Jedi controllers the brain interface implant tech that they're working on? We all know that. Well, maybe not all of us, but Oculus did purchase a company, I think it was last year, that is working on technology to read your nerves and the impulses that run through them. So who knows? Maybe that could be the Jedi controller. It could use the Force to control the game.
That would make sense, but I'll tell you what, you ain't implanting jack crap in my brain. It's just not happening. I don't care how realistic it makes it. Unless somehow I get some injury or something where I need it to live. I don't subscribe to implants in my brain. It sounds like a very bad idea.
I'll tell you what, people might laugh about these kind of assertions when it comes to VR game technology, but it is no joke. And while I know Oculus is kind of working on that area to some extent, I do not expect them to be the innovators in this space. Valve, this is something that Gaben is obsessed with, is this brain interface technology when it comes to gaming. Go look at some of the things that guy has said over the last 12 months. Valve is working on this stuff vigorously, and all those millions of dollars that they're making from Steam is going into it. They're going to be the ones that break down that barrier and bring us into the next thing. What's after VR?
Hmm.
I think Valve is going to bring us into what's after VR.
No, that's a good point. I trust Gaben. I've changed my mind. I'm going to put the chip in my mind. As long as he's the one giving it to me. No, just kidding. But yeah, I agree. I think it will be them for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Oculus is working on some stuff. That company they bought was working on technology that was reading the nerves in people's forearms. The stuff Gaben's talking about is like Elon Musk style, brain games. So
Crazy.
yeah, it is crazy. And he says, "quote This is a quote from Gaben. Quote: We're a lot closer to the Matrix than anyone even realizes."
Do you think Gaben is in control of the Matrix? We're already in it, and he's just trying to tell us, I think.
That sounds like a topic for your other podcast, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's for dark frequencies. Yeah.
Maybe the simulation is being controlled by Gaben.
Maybe. That's why the Half-Life Alyx was so successful.
Hey, that's true. All right. Anyway, we're starting to run off the rails here, so I guess I'm going to wrap it up. Again, for those of you who would like to win a copy of Into the Radius, courtesy of our good friend Cyion VR and CM Gaming, be sure to 1, subscribe, and 2, leave a comment down below stating that you would like to enter the drawing, and we will all meet back here 1 week from today and draw that game and those 2 copies rather of that game and give them away.
Yeah, sounds good. It could be you.
Yeah, could be you. A great game again, by the way. I think it definitely is in the running for the 2020 award of most improved game, right?
Yeah, I would say so far right now that game is definitely winning it, and who knows what else will come out before then and fix itself. So
absolutely. All right. With that said, friends, if you've liked this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and to click the notification bell to stay up with all of our content here on Virtual Strangers. If you would like to join the conversation, there's an invitation down below to join our Discord community, and the conversation goes 24/7 down there, VR all day, all night, every day. Join the community and join the conversation. And of course, for those of you who have been around a long time, as if you didn't already know, you can support us on Patreon. And for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access to our weekly show notes, as well as bonus content in the form of the always awesome Money Show. Money Show 4 coming soon, guys. Stay tuned.
It's going to be exciting. We haven't even picked it, and I know it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I've got some ideas. We'll talk about that off the air.
Nice.
Anyway, with that said, friends, we'd like to thank you again for watching. And for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends.